Okay, this is Lisa Lee, and this is part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, I do think you need to watch part 2. So, the name of this, I don't even know yet, but if you just go back, it'll be the one before if you're on Patreon. If this ends up on YouTube, most of them will. Just like go to the channel, find part 1. So with that preamble, let's jump back in, because what we're looking at here is that this is like the beginning of the end, and is also the beginning of something new, and we want to walk into that something new. And so where we left off was kind of around this question of this King of Cups is offering you love, and what is this romantic love with this King of Cups? And so there's belief here that says that your confidence is a key to your success. And that confidence is going to be this empowerment that you have, that in developing like where you're going, why you want to be there, and what it means to express this journey with this Hermit card. And so this belief that things can and will get better is sort of essential. And I'm looking under, and it says conjunction and empowerment, and underneath empowerment here, I'm seeing newsflash. Life is seriously temporary. So rather than having your empowerment come from things being fixed, there's this call to let your empowerment come from like knowing that things are temporary. And so with the romantic love and the belief, let's get a couple of cards, because I'm actually struggling with my throat chakra with this reading. And that's always weird when that happens. I never know what to think of that. So with this silver, this quicksilver, we have this notion of like this, you're going to be negotiating with nature. And there's this messaging related to like nature, and the messaging that you are a slave, and that you're never going to be anything but a slave, and that you're only as good as the opportunities that are provided for you, instead of there being a world of opportunities like just where you're sitting right now, in the way that you can be experiencing just sitting right now. And so we're going to like recalibrate around this notion of belief, so that taking action, because take action, and the Knight of Swords here means that with that action, with taking action, there's some kind of showdown here related to this King of Swords and this Devil card. Like, you know, basically this energy saying, you know, I control your exposure, and that does not compute. But there's romantic love here, so let's take a look and see what that's all about. Let's get a couple of cards on this romantic love situation. Let's dig in. So what is the nature of this romantic love? Because one of the first things I'm thinking with that King of Cups and the Starborn, and what we said earlier about the Maiden and like this offer of love coming towards you, let's look at this as very tangibly an offer of love coming towards you. If there's disbelief, there's cause for belief, because we've got the belief card here, and magic here says stuff that, possibilities that, and expressions that are so grand and profound, Starborn. So like, what is that? You know, that Starborn card. 8th house of intimacy. So we're talking about something here that is like powerful. Like it has a certain kind of power to it. Has a little bit of mystery wrapped in there. Why is my throat chakra having like such, this is a weird thing. It's activating. It's like, I feel like it's almost activating during your reading. Maybe there's a throat chakra, like, because I sometimes my throat chakra will block up, and I'll feel like a need to like literally like work with the energy and work with my body. And I did it, you know, when we took our break. And so like now I'm sitting down again, I'm like, this is ridiculous. This is sort of like an intense thing, but I'm actually seeing it as more of an activation. So you're going through a major activation right now, whether you realize it or not. The gods are telling me that like you're having an internal configuration change. There's something happening internally, like the configuration is changing. It seems like there's pressure. I'm feeling a level of pressure around it. Like almost like seismic pressure. What's that seismic pressure? What am I feeling? The shape of you is changing from within. The shape of the world is changing from within. As above, so below. As within, so without. The within is changing. Starborn, there's something here. And so, especially because that silver, that quicksilver, just keeps on striking me as being a planet. That Starborn is striking me as being a new way of connecting. An inner peace. And so there's something here that might start to agitate some fears. Something about that King of Cups. There's something that could agitate, because the inner peace action. Oh my gosh. How many times are you going to have to take action? Knight of Swords. It's time to take action and action. And we're in the action section. So part of this is your confidence is your key to success. That means and we're looking at this future site a little bit because this is the way that this collective kind of moves. We are talking about some exposure for you related to, like I see a key in a door and opening the door. Yeah, okay. Your voice is going to hit the airwaves. I just saw that in a really, really powerful way. With your confidence comes the opportunity that you have been waiting for. And so there has been a very long, drawn out time of developing confidence, and your guides have been your gods and guides have been working with you hour after hour, day after day. I see like a champion training for like the Olympics. Because I'm hearing so this going within to find your way out, you have been doing that. You have been the mystic, and you have just not had confidence. For whatever reason, you have not had confidence. And we are looking at a 2-year span here with Aquarius and 17 degrees. Like, I'm seeing that as being significant for your reading. So the confidence being the key to your success, the confidence even in this relationship with this King of Cups, or what it means to channel this King of Cups or work with this King of Cups, the romantic love there, because it's 8th house, it's like kind of interesting. All of that is in relationship to this confidence that you come into that then leads to action. Action is taken. Action is taken. Now, what happens with this action that is taken? You take action and something shows up in the way of lies, stories, manipulations to say you're a slave and there's nothing you can do about it. Your voice or your creative capacity or your potential comes under the jurisdiction of someone else's crap. But you guys are saying, have peace and step into belief. This empowerment is coming for you, and it'll happen in a second. In a blink of an eye. You actually have a whole story here with it. It's like bookends, like we said with the last reading. This is the beginning of the end of what was, and the confidence that you have gained from what was is going to launch you into action. Believe and know that you and your gifts and your talents and your strong connection with Source is going to emancipate you. You will see freedom. This action is going to lead to your freedom. You're meant to have peace about whatever those stories are. And that's why it's so important that you take this time with Quicksilver and Magic, that you take this time right now, and we're going to look at this because we're opening this up for the second reading. We're going to take this time with you to work on what it means. And I'm going to take romantic love. I'm going to take belief. And we're going to take these cards and we're going to put these cards. We're going to actually start with a new, what does it mean to get this offer? Because this offer is not really here yet. Okay, this offer is not really here yet. It's in relationship to where we're starting and where you're going to end up. And the offer comes with your confidence. And so the first thing that you're really going to be working on is walking away from every disempowering story that you tell yourself. Everything that says like, well, that's when I was, that's when I had opportunities, but I don't have any opportunities now. The World card. We're seeing a drastic change in the world and what your opportunities are even going to look like. So we're going to get into this dreaming place. What does it mean to take charge? It's to get into this dreaming place about possibilities, because the action that is going to be taken, the moment you get that confidence, this action goes boom. You're like stratosphere. I see like a buoy held down for so long and like hitting and really getting attention, and then like an old story comes up. And it's a story of you're a slave, and no matter what you do, it's only going to lead to something that, traps you. But the lesson in all that is that it can't trap you. You're meant to take charge. You are taking charge. You're getting this time of empowerment so that you can work with what it means to like move with this action as it happens. And you're meant to do that with magic, belief, and romantic love. And so I want to see this inner peace. A call for inner peace means like, and especially there's romantic love here. I'm going to keep the maiden because this is part of your confidence. And belief is undertake action. And so have inner peace, and I'm going to put this back over under, yeah, it's part of what this voyage is to have peace about the twists and the turns. Because there is, with the inner nature, the truth of what you're saying, the truth of who you are, the truth of what you have to offer. And the outer nature, how that has to argue with what other people and nature is doing independent of you and around you and in reaction and relationship to you. So whether it's the nature of man like reacting to you, or it's the nature of like, you're a very powerful being, and when you step into like, you know, you kind of sync with nature, and that has an effect. There's something so cool with the Starborn here about this transformation. And so this King of Cups who's coming in at this axis of romantic love, we're going to look at this right now, under confidence and your success with intimacy, and it's your success with intimacy is a part of that. This energy really wants to give you a lot. They're like, I want to give you, you're gonna, you know, like there's a gift in it a little bit. That's funny. Oh God, so funny. So we're gonna do this healing. All this healing work is walk away from the stories that defeat you. 1001%. Walk away from the stories that defeat you. Write that on the and put it up on the refrigerator. Every time you seek nourishment, you're gonna walk away from the stories that defeat you. Every single time. Put it everywhere you go. Put that little message all over the place. You're gonna drive that home. Make sure that that's part of the core messaging that you carry. Confidence is the key to your success. And there's something here about being open to romantic love. Now, romantic love that is available to you, Starborn and the 8th house, healing whatever those limiting, like the limitation, I was going to say limiting, those limitation beliefs, healing those limitation beliefs related to your hotness, healing those limitation beliefs related to everything that was lost and everything that happened and all the things that were taken, and moving into this like place of actually starting to let go of the limiting beliefs. That's the healing work. So we're kind of going to leave that like at the healing work. That's sort of like alchemy here. Where the King of Cups comes in is in relationship to your confidence. Let's look at that story. See how that wants to play itself out. And so Queen of Wands and 5 of Cups, that's going to be reclaim. That's a Fool. So you reclaim yourself. Basically what you do is you turn around and you say, actually, I have a lot to give and there's a lot that the world wants to give me. The universe is here to offer me like more than just the grief and everything that I see about this grief. And I'm not going to hide my beauty. I'm not going to hide my genius. I'm not going to hide anything. There's an inspiration that's coming in that's related to your voice that's going to move you into a different venue or a different way of speaking or a different way of being received. And that's going to be the rocket ship. But that's going to be time to take action. It's going to happen really, really quick. And the first thing that you're going to plug in, the very first thing that you're going to plug into is your belief about your magic. Because all of the messages of the devil and the nature of man and the nature of nature are going to be something that you're going to be contending with. And do not let that interfere with your inner peace. And the way that you do that is you have really strong belief in relationship to this King of Cups energy. How is this King of Cups energy coming in? Well, everything that happens in the spiritual realm has a physical manifestation. And so it's going to happen like, and you know, this conjunction means like this is a weird time with the Starborn and like intimacy with the 8th house and this healing. Like it's going to be some unorthodox sort of situation, Aquarius vibes, you know. And so we're going to go with those Aquarius vibes. We're going to let it be like this innovative and you know, new and like kind of out there way of like even working with identity a little bit. And so the Magician, I felt it with the belief, the magic. Do you believe in magic? 4 of Pentacles. Someone's like, no. Someone's like, I only believe in the things that have happened and what they've done and where I am. And I get it. I'm not trying to be mean. I get a little bit sharp every once in a while because I kind of want to yank you out of feeding the attachments, the limiting beliefs, stories of powerlessness. There's always power, even if it's weird. There's always power to be had, even if it's weird. So if you feel completely disempowered, you have no power over the situation you're in and the situation is killing you in one way or another, how do you free yourself? You start with like, go full like Imaginarium, you know, like wherever you're sitting, invest in that inner world, work with that inner world, play with that inner world. The Magician, Learn the tools that you were given when you were born. What tools were you given? What were you born with in the way of tools? Because that's all anyone really has at a sort of core level to a certain extent, because everyone's subject to their circumstances, which means even like the richest people have no free will and have to deal with whatever it means to be positioned where they are. And that is going to look very different from where you're sitting than where they are sitting, in the same way that where you're sitting is going to look very different from where they're sitting. And so I want you to think about belief and the magician as being your, kind of like your job description here when it comes to take action. When ready, set, go, action, like you're going to catapult, ready, set, go, action. This happens with this King of Cups. So who is this King of Cups? I mean, it's a King of Cups. So there's a King of Cups in this heartbreak here. The King of Cups doesn't become the King of Cups without major heartbreak. And your commitment is being tested is like, that's where we left off. We're going to get another card in a minute. But that first reading was about your commitment was being tested. And the whole like synopsis on that first reading was to walk away from all beliefs all belief in powerlessness, to walk away from all belief in powerlessness, all investments in the old stories, all investments of what you understand of opportunities versus what you see. And this new story where you plug into this Queen of Wands, stepping into your glory, looking away from the grief and the loss, stepping into the fullness of your voice. Let's take a look at that with romantic love being like, not just romantic love with another, because I do feel like there's something there for sure, but also like love is romantic. The romantic journey, falling in love, falling in love with new life, falling in love with the opportunities and who you are, falling in love with falling in love with who you are and who you're going to be. And then speaking from that place. And the romance that comes in as a result of that. Like there's a lot of romance that comes in. But the King of Swords is going to be messaging, and that Two of Swords is this block with the Six of Wands peeking out, meaning like you can have victory over this blockage in your head related to trust and trusting others and showing up. But there is something here too. This King of Cups is giving you a brand new start, and you have to believe that you have all of the tools that you need, and you do. You do have all the tools that you need, Magician. You're born with them. Everything that is on that table is in the body and within the body's capacity to create from. You just need the alchemy of belief to create the magic that is necessary to not let your pride get in your way. So what does that mean? Between now and 2027, there's some kind of exposure. Because with don't let pride get in your way, I know that means that you are exposed. Because what's the first thing that happens when you stick your head out of the sand and you show up at a party, or you show up at a competition, or you show up anywhere, you show up in the marketplace? People want to test you. Think about showing up in the schoolyard. You're a new kid at school. What happens? You have to go through this horrible period of testing where everyone's testing. Everyone's testing you. Everyone's trying to take you down. Everyone's trying to figure you out. People want to play with you. You're the new toy. You're the new thing that they can kind of like, you're this mysterious, right? And so that means that you're going to have to suffer the plague of everybody else's projections. And that means everyone else's projections are coming from a place of maturity where you are not, and you don't want to be. And you're not, and when somebody throws a projection at you, there's a boomerang effect that is possible if you let it influence how you see yourself. It creates an entanglement. And so what it means for you to have a fear of being perceived, to overcome that and have the confidence and step into this Queen of Wands place, you have to know that being perceived does not equal being taken down by everyone who is going to do you dirty when you are perceived. Because the guarantee is that when people are perceiving something, they have a spin on it. And that spin is either to devalue it, to assimilate it into themselves, to manipulate it for a purpose, to see it as a tool. Like there's all these ways in which being perceived can put you into a place where you're letting pride get in your way. You're responding to versions of yourself that exist in other people's brains that you will never correct, ever. Because they're too attached to those versions of you. Instead of knowing who you are, they don't even want to. They want this imaginary friend. That's okay. Don't let pride get in your way. That has nothing to do with you. What someone thinks about you is them having an imaginary friend. Even if it's an imaginary enemy, it's an imaginary situation. Let people have their imaginary situations with this tower and this sword of truth. You come with the truth, it wrecks their imagination. They want to cast you as the enemy in their play. Come with the truth, it's going to shatter that. They want to cast you as the love interest in their play. And you come with the truth and it destroys that. And you don't ever have to worry about doing anything with the, boundaries are as good as their visibility. And so if there's fictions around their existence, like that's where this Queen of Cups energy comes in. And so what I see with this Queen of Cups and this King of Cups, I do see partnerships, and I do see an equal kind of partnership. You show up, you're in this place, and that does tip things off. I don't understand why this is kind of cryptic here. Because this belief in this magic means like you actually have two stories happening here, because this is 2025 and this is 2027 in terms of like 2 years. And so like as you rise, you're told not to let your pride get in the way. But every time we sort of pivot back to this romantic relationship, like why is this so central to your success? Because the bottom of the deck energy that we had with the last reading was the King of Cups. The bottom of the deck energy that we have with this reading is the Queen of Cups. So we're talking about balance, romantic love. We're talking about balance in partnership, the experience and reflection of a conscious lover. There are going to be people that love you. Don't let pride get in the way. Don't be a tyrant about how people are allowed to love you and how they're not allowed to love you. And this might be in a relationship very personally, one other person, but I think that like because of who you are, it's probably like your relationship to like anyone. There's a controlling nature here that I'm picking up on with take charge and things change, that like it's not really a bad thing, but it's a habit. It's an attachment. That's like one of the things that you're going to let go, is trying to control how people perceive you. Trying to explain yourself. It doesn't matter how they perceive you. It's always fiction. How another person perceives you until they're living in your house with you and know you at that intimacy is complete and total fiction. Until they know you really, really well. Until they are well past your defenses of easy conversation. Like people just know a fiction. Even when you're really transparent, they still just know fiction. Their spin on you is always going to be like different than what you really are. And so the only thing that can kind of screw you up in any of this, including relating to this King of Cups, is trying to control how people perceive you and what they do with you. Big. That's big. And I know that we do that because we feel like we're going to be in danger. Like what somebody does with us is like maybe like, put us in the trunk of a car. So it's like actually a tall order to ask us to sort of like trust. But this empowerment here is about that very trust. Inner peace is about that very trust. The alchemy of inner peace is sort of required because this new start that is coming. This is really interesting. Okay, let's take a look at this. Bottom of the deck. You're very close to achieving your goal. You're very close to achieving your goal. And so we're talking about don't let your pride get in your way. That's the section that we're on. We know that when you take action, you're doing so with your channeling and your abilities and the support of the universe. You just have to keep your belief, because you have to believe in what you are connected to in the way of source way more than you believe in the racket of the King of Swords rhetoric machine. Because to be perceived is to be projected on. To be projected on is to participate in knowing that there's a fictionalized version of you that is not you, that isn't of no consequence to you, is none of your business even. And that you relinquish control of what that experience of people perceiving you even means. But that you step into this magic related to having a whole new start coming with this new phase also brings a major new start for you. And that whatever you were afraid of, nothing's going to come of it. And these are two very opposite energies too. Like, what does this mean? We have time because we're doing this as a part 2. You're close to this. You're a rocket ship I see somebody putting gas in its tank. The rocket ship is gassing up. You're working on this connection between your inner nature and what it means to negotiate with nature. There's work to do here, but that work leads to action, very, very quickly. You've got everything you need. You have to require belief. The thing that you are purposed to do, which I'm kind of excited about, but it's kind of scary. This collective, it's kind of scary what you're purposed to do. You're meant to speak the truth that brings the tower all the way down. You're meant to speak the truth that brings the tower all the way down. That's what that take charge is all about. This is not the power of persuasion. The power of persuasion, debate, winning an argument, no. That's not what we're talking about. That's competition. Okay, so you're not doing that. Put the competition down. You're not going to try and persuade or evangelize, proselytize. The thing that's going to change the course here is speaking the truth. So there are definite limits to the power of persuasion. But what actually generally persuades people? Let's ask this question very seriously. What persuades people? What actually persuades people? Not arguments. That's somebody debating, and people just get off on debating and they go crazy and they want to argue because it gives them some weird dopamine hit that just like annoys the rest of the room, right? So not that stuff. Not a fighting family that like this is their love language, is to argue with each other because that's how like distrustful they feel, you know? So it's not about being right. It isn't about having the right answer. It's not about having the best argument. Okay, so we're moving out of competition and we're moving into what it means to speak the truth. Because the truth is not about like having the best powers of persuasion. The truth is about shattering the illusion. And that comes from art. Art always shatters the illusion. It shatters the illusion every single time. Somebody can be completely delusional until they encounter a piece of art and then find themselves totally persuaded in a new position. Not because they lost the argument, because that never works, but because something about the truth being told revealed the truth in themselves that they cannot unsee. And so that's the magic that is what you're doing. But that means that this is like, you cannot let pride be involved. If you need to be right, if you need to control the fictions about you, that's going to be kind of something to warn yourself about. And so how do we overcome that? Because nothing will come of the situation means like, that means something is there's something that the truth needs to be spoken to in order to bring this new beginning. And so there is this moment of truth around this new beginning. I want to see how your guides want me to proceed, because this is kind of tricky. Queen of Cups is you. King of Cups is your partner. The Maiden is a 13, 14, 15. It's like, I see something about adolescent, like bringing yourself back to like, there's this developmental adolescent kind of place of your identity in relationship to like the romantic concept and the romantic story, and even a romance with life. And now this reset around that new start that is coming. What is this nothing is coming of this situation card mean? What is that void of course moon? There's nuance with it. I want to get to it. And it's related to don't let pride get in your way. I guess that your commitment is being tested. This next couple of years is going to be an action-packed time of you being very, very, very much like people perceive you. You've got some magic, beautiful ability to bring revelation. You're gonna be just fine while that tower is going on. And the only thing that you guys are saying is like, let's not let this moment in time is like, I'm seeing that this moment in time is like analogous to 2 years from now during eclipse season with 2027. And it is with Aquarius and 70s, there's a 17 degree thing happening here. The showdown here is about not letting pride get in your way. And what we have in the way of future sight are these other components of a partnership with the King of Cups. And taking action happening at work with that 8 of Pentacles. It's going to be quick with Quicksilver, empowerment, news flash. You're very close to achieving your goal over here. This is all like, you know, look at your spread. You've got something happening quick. Time to take action, news flash. you're very close to achieving your goal. Like your guides are being super clear. Queen of Wands. This is going to come in really fast. And it is a new beginning, man. Like this is like night and day. You've never lived this life before. It has to do with your messaging. Your messaging is on point. You speak the truth. It downs towers. Don't let pride get in your way. You're going to want to remember this reading. Put a little note in your calendar and write, in this spot in 2027, don't let pride get in your way. Because pride has to do with other people valuing or devaluing you, and you wanting to make sure that, you know, those trespasses don't occur. The only thing that happens with valuing you or devaluing, like when someone values you or devalues you, the only function of being aware of that is knowing that that's a sorting system where either people sort themselves out of your life or they sort themselves into your life. It is not a point in your road where you stop to do corrections. It's literally just this is one of the most important things you have to remember about when your hackles get up with your pride, when you can feel somebody trying to make you feel less than, try to diminish you, be diminutive towards you, put themselves on some kind of a helping, pedestal. Like we've got all kinds of ways in which people will undermine another person that they find to be a threat, even unconsciously. And that has to do with being perceived. Even someone who thinks that they love you, if they pathologize you, it's because they have some sort of a sick obsession in a kind of way. And so this thing with don't let pride get in your way, with all of those diagnoses, with what other people are doing or they are not doing, because I fall into that all the time, is to take charge in the sense of being firmly in your lane. But let's ask Spirit what this nothing will come of this situation having to do with don't let pride get in your way. A new start is coming. But what does that nothing will come of the situation indicate? It's related to nature. The nature of what other people think. Nothing will come of it. The nature of what opportunities you think are available to you and aren't available to you based on what people think of you. Any threats against you, nothing will come of those threats. Stardust and soil. What is going on, Starborn and Stardust? What's happening with your reading, you special, you extra special, different Starborn, Stardust? This is something new. You are something new in the world. Let's find out inner nature. Something's coming quickly. Ride between the realms. Oh, okay. Interesting. Unguarded. Trust the unexpected. Midnight brew, the alchemy of you. So we're talking about who you are. When it comes to nothing will come, I feel more strongly than anything, and this is hitting me like a brick to the head. No weapon will even form against you. No one's even going to form a weapon against you. So when it comes to attack thoughts, when it comes to defenses, when it comes to what it means for you to take charge and step into a power with your confidence, and step into a new way of being in the world where you are glowing without any fear. It's almost like this relationship. Oh my, this is so hard to kind of explain. It is hard to explain. How do I explain that? I'm sorry. Every time this is always crooked. It's always my fault. This love relationship is actually, it does something with the rest of this. Because it's part of the beginning of the end and the end of the beginning. This whole reading is the beginning of the end and the end of the beginning. Or the beginning of the beginning. It's a weird, it's the figure eight. It's the bridge. Romantic love has a big part of this. Partnership has a big part of this. But it's with this star-born, stardust. It's from another realm. For lack of a better way of putting it, because opposites attract. And if you look at this card closely, you're seeing, because I'm trying to figure this out. You know what I mean? This is definitely there's something about who you truly are that has to be independent in your evaluation of your value from how any, it's you're so foreign, you are so different, you are such a phenomenon here, And what romance with life and falling in love with love again and being in love with a partner is for you, there's something here where nothing can come against you. What this card says to me, and I can't get another answer, like it's nothing can come against you. This new start that is coming and this new phase of your life, nothing can get in your way. Nothing can come against you. With the exception of like the racket of static and interference patterns of like the opinions of others, which is all fiction. And the way that you are able to like be unaffected by all of that noise, I see the static on a radio, like what are you going to pick up? The way that you're not going to pick up those signals that are thrown at you, either in adoration or hatred, like I can't figure out what, because I see you as being public, right? And so when you're public, it's going to be both, right? And so, but that's not your romantic relationship. What's coming in about this King of Cups, this offer of love, is that your romantic relationship, stardust, starborn, and soil. Stardust and soil, especially with this card, opposites attract, means like the realm of the stars and the realm of the earth in attraction is part of like your new self. And I know it's weird. I don't really even know what to make of it, I'll be honest. You probably have a better understanding than I do. And that's okay, because it is so different. It's so new. It really is. I don't know what it is, but it's new, right? And so, because you also have this card here coming up, this ride between the realms. So this is interdimensional. We're talking about some interdimensional love. It's out there, but this is what your reading has going on here. And that you're meant to trust this, and that it is unexpected. It is unexpected. And it takes the form of knowing who you are, the alchemy of you, knowing what it means to be you, what the experience of you very uniquely is, how that experience of you very uniquely expresses. Because I'm going to get more cards on it. I really want to know. You know, I kind of want to see what that is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift the reading completely into part of this belief, like that gives you confidence, is this connection. And since that's so key, and we've already gotten 36 warnings not to let pride get in the way, we already know how not to let pride get in the way. We're not going to let pride get in the way by caring about what other people are thinking and thinking that we can influence how other people are thinking. Because how other people are thinking is none of our business. Nope. Love people from where they are and what they're showing you. Why do I always do this to myself? I always mix up decks. Love people from where they're showing you they are. If they value you appropriately, they get sorted into your life. They get access. If they value you in an inappropriate way, either for extraction, exploitation, some kind of mind games, you name it, people go crazy. Then they get sorted out. If they devalue you, they get sorted out. There's no persuasion involved in any of that. That is one of them. If I could give you one lesson and one gift, that is the gift I would give you, is to take into your future an understanding that people sort themselves in and out, but you don't persuade anybody. And it's not your business to persuade anybody. It is your business to speak your truth and to express yourself as here's, instead of making an argument with someone about who you are, you say who you are in art and you let them argue with the art and you move on. And by art, I mean even the art of conversation, the art of a relationship. You're gonna be strong in your confidence in yourself. Even when your voice is shaking, you're gonna do it. But I want to look at your romance. Let's look at the romance. It's a look at this, how you feel with the Five of Pentacles. That's not real. That's not it. What is that? I hear a song. Magician. I don't know that song at all. I'm not getting the words. It's not giving me words. Vacation, all I ever wanted. Okay, we're gonna keep this. Your cards are like, what are you doing? Where are you going? We're gonna keep this. All right, we're gonna keep Starborn, and we're gonna keep the star. So this is the same. We have validation. This 8th house kind of speaks to like I kept on getting tripped up with the last reading around like Kundalini energy stalking in the underworld. I'm like, why is that ringing in a new way? You know, like, where's that coming from? Like, how is that happening? Especially because it relates to healing. So healing is like something in a new way. This narrow passage is significant to the time that we're in. But you personally are going to have a quick rise. You're going to have a different experience. And so we're going to look at the romance here. Your confidence comes from knowing that you're different and accepting that you're different, and that whatever is meant for you is kind of like you can't even see it. You can't get a good view. You can't sort of mentally and emotionally figure out what it is. Action and time to take action, especially in relationship with community. Community is less about the people who are around you. Two of Pentacles, you have to have balance with that. Community is less about people around you and like more about like having some keen sense around that sorting system a little bit, and that's a whole process. But let's get into this. Let's get into this romance. How do you guys want me to proceed? So we know that like mastery over nature is in relationship to your mastery over your inner world. Inner nature and like that conversation and that adaptation and that innovation and that creativity and that fertility all in this. This is what you're working on. Figure 8, this is you. So let's get into where this is going. And I want to actually, we know that you're going to be empowered. We know that you're not going to, take the bait on anything that is valuing you wrong with. Don't let pride get in your way. You're not going to let pride get in your way. Just speak the truth with confidence and let chips fall where they may. Okay. So let's see what does our guys want to tell us about this very strange romance? Because it's sort of, I don't know, stardust, starborn, the alchemy of you between realms, unexpected. What are we looking at? All of this happens so quickly, and don't get your pride in your way. Has to do with your exposure to others, but also your exposure to intimacy. That's why this is so important. We're going to talk about this intimate relationship. I'm hearing double feature. Something about a double feature. We're going to talk about the intimacy of this relationship. And with nothing will come of this situation. This is going back over here. No weapon formed against you. It's not even going to form against you. Never mind prosper. And communication is why. That's why. And so you're going to figure out what that means for yourself. I'm seeing your guys kind of say, like, they're not going to tell you exactly what that means. But as far as this King of Cups energy that sort of came through, and this Queen of Cups, we're talking about a partnership between two halves almost. And that's a weird thing that's coming through because I'm not a twin flame believer necessarily. I think that there are some really strong entanglements that operate like that, but that's just a weird thing. All right, you're not stuck. Hello, you are looking absolutely stunning today. So this is kind of what we're talking about in terms of this grow up with romantic love and with this energy. There's a maturity that you are finally arriving at that makes it so you can step into this in all of the right ways. Yeah, this is going to happen very, very quick. I'm going to flip this around as well. It's in relationship to self-knowledge, the alchemy of you. So, yeah, this is so crazy. I'm trying to figure this out. I've never seen anything like it, I'll be honest. I'm trying to like find the right way of communicating something that is like, it's almost ineffable. Who are you? Can I just see that before I get into this? I gotta see what this says. We're gonna figure that out in a second. I gotta see. I need this energy to tell me, like, who is this starborn, other dimensional kind of energy? What does that mean? I need to see that clearer before I can get into like the nature of the relationship. The mundane of the relationship is not that interesting unless I know what alien or other dimensional. What is that? Or maybe it's just someone who's just so different from you as to have been, like, they might as well be an alien, is like close to whatever I'm feeling in the way of how different they are. So either they are so different that they literally like are some other dimensional being, or they're just like that, out somewhere so far away that it's just like, I'm seeing this image of like an Australian woman with some sort of there's a tribe in Africa somewhere, There's a story about those two. Okay. The unconscious. What you talking about, Spirit? What does that mean? Resourcefulness. Web of drama. Whoa. Okay, so web. I think it's something to do with like, is that an internet? A new way of relating. So why is that the unconscious though? That's the 8th house. This is gonna kill me. This reading is so weird and different in the way that like, what kind of romance are you involved in? What sort of romance is happening for you over there? I mean, you don't have to tell me, but it's unexpected, right? Is this something that you never really imagined this? Okay, we need a little bit more of information, or we need a little bit more context. Let's get it from here. And this is peeking in desire. Okay. All right, we're gonna dig in, even though this is going a little bit long. Who do you desire? Tell me more about this desire. Can I see who this object of desire is? And I want cards that can get me closer to that real fast. So you have to be resourceful in this narrow, or in that narrow bridge. You're not stuck. If you choose the wrong road, then just turn the freak around. Here, let's read this. Now we have to read this. If you choose the wrong road, then just turn the freak around. It's never too late to go back or forge a new path, even when you think it is. Life is full of making messed up or poor decisions that later teach you valuable life lessons and create the foundation for your future awesomeness. The trick is to know when to cut your losses before you go down with that sinking ship. If you're not happy or something doesn't feel right, trust that gut feeling and reevaluate the direction you're headed. Life is too short to go down a dead-end road, especially when it's a lot easier than you think to pick a new direction or bulldoze through a new path. So whatever doors are shutting for you or have shut for you in terms of romantic love, that's good. You're not locked out. You're actually, that resourcefulness is like leading to this unorthodox approach here with the web of drama. I don't get it, but this person thinks you're beautiful. I mean, hello, stunning. You know, once you realize that love is not an opportunity that somebody else gives you, but what's meant for you, and you step into what it means to receive what is meant for you, you desire what is actually supposed to be yours instead of desiring what you think should be yours, because this is so different. I'm so confused about it in terms of like how this translates to love. It's like another dimension altogether. I can't even fathom what interdimensional love might mean, but you look absolutely stunning with this. You know, like there's a way in which like it's meant for you between realms, unexpected, but romantic love, and that brings you back to a place where you feel like you're young again. And by young again, I don't mean like vulnerable. I mean like the maiden in her bloom, you know, just in that full bloom of like, there's a phase with seasons and blooming, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. Mature enough. Queen of Wands, desire. Okay, tell me more. And that's what I was feeling. I felt like this mystery here. The 3 of Swords. I'm just trying to get a fix on what this unconscious and the Fool card. So in the last reading, we had the Fool card as being initiated by this relationship. So there was an initiation here with a broken heart that you went through that is now bringing this new beginning with this 2 of Cups. And it's going to come in very quickly. And the 8 of Swords, you can't see it. You can't find your way toward this. This is not for you to like the 8 of Swords is in every direction that you look. It's like a closed door. Like, what are you talking about? But there's a path out of that trap. And so why the unconscious mind is here and why the web is here. And it's all about resourcefulness. And so it's almost like there's like pushing you into a new type of relating. And the unconscious is another dimension. It's the underworld. We spoke about that in the last reading. The unconscious is the underworld. So I'm very confused about how this comes out. And, you know, I don't want to leave us like with questions. So I'm going to keep pulling cards on what this means for you. But desire in the Queen of Wands is like this desire that is ignited in you wants to express, despite Three of Swords. And so what it means for you to reconnect with your desire is to step into a new way. Like the Fool is like a whole new, like a leap of faith in a new direction with the Fool. The unexpected. You don't see it there. You don't think it's there. You don't expect it there. Two of Cups is somebody who sees you the way that you are meant to be seen. But it's not coming, like, you know, for whoever this is, I very much doubt that this is a person with skin on somehow. Which is, it's a weird thing to say. And it does come up in this collective sometimes because whoever's in my collective, there's a lot of physical mediums. A physical medium's going to have experiences. Can I see what the web of drama is, please? Can I see what the web of drama is, please? What is this web of drama? Three of Pentacles and the Moon in reverse. Clarity on what it means to build something of substance and value, to work with, to build. So this has something to do with work. Eight of Wands, lots of communication. I feel a resistance, and I just kind of want to speak that. I want to speak to that because actually, you know, it's funny what's happening in this reading, and it's with don't let pride get in your way. All right. Because I see this victory for you. It's a major victory for you. But you have to step out of picking up on interference patterns related to like theories about what other people have in their mind. Theories about what other people have in their mind. So one of the main things that you have to walk away from in order to receive this love is, how do you do that? Okay, so people become limerent with other people. That means that they're locked in at an archetype. That doesn't mean that they're locked in at the person. Even if they begin a friendship with that person, even if it seems like there's some partnership aspect coming in, there's still something to be said, like very, like officially, that limerence is related to relating to archetypal, like godlike energies. It's something that is calling you into a spiritual relationship. That's what limerence does. It calls you into a spiritual relationship. It'll often take the form of a person, in that person very much embodies that archetype. So it's the archetype that you have like a crush on. It's not like the person that you have a crush on. Relating to someone in person is different than relating to something archetypally. And this is so hard to explain, but it's super important that you understand this. A crush on like a movie star, that's a limerence. That's falling in love with an archetype. That is a spiritual thing that's being called into that form, and what it means to relate to that form. And all of our training is that we relate to the form of an object of desire by owning it and possessing it, and it's ours, and now it belongs to us, and it's meant to be, and this is our person. That's that's not what I'm talking about, because that, again, like a relationship with a god and a relationship that is limerent, you know, the substance of what limerence feels like. That's like relating to an archetype. It's relating to a god or a guide. It's not relating to a person, because I'm trying to figure out this interdimensional thing, and I think that people get really tripped up on like obsession, inheritance, what is for me, when it comes to other people. And so I do see this coming in very quickly, and I do see this being a lot of conversation, but be very careful how you fixate on others. That's really important, because they can pick up on it energetically, and it can be a repellent, which is why the more you fixate on someone, the more like unstable that bond becomes. And so it's really important that you understand that there's some sort of a repellent that comes in with like actually bringing the energy of limerent worship, or limerent like manipulating, whatever, ruminating, planning, scheming, believing into something that involves somebody else who is not necessarily aware of where you're thinking and what you're feeling. And so, like, I say that because the Moon card is in reverse. And so there's this way in which like part of what you're meant to walk away from in the way of the Eight of Cups is like illusions or delusions related to the theories you have about where someone else's mind is, even in relationship to like, they don't know I'm the one yet. Because that will mess this up. And I don't want you to mess this up. Because this is not a person, I don't think. And if it is a person, that's like, it's a weird, and I'm having trouble bringing this message through because there is this complication around how beautiful and stunning you are on stage here. We talked about this action that's going to happen and it's going to catapult you to a place where people are going to see you, and that you have to not let your pride get in your way at the level of theory of mind, thinking what other people might be thinking, theorizing what they're trying to do with your image, with your voice, with your person, with wanting to be close to you, for what reason, what is behind this, what are they seeking, like how can you manage what they're doing with you. Like you want to have boundaries, but those boundaries have to do with like staying in your own lane. And so we got that message in terms of like what it means to be like in some way like perceived. But where we have this other thing, you know, there's two sides to that coins, is when it comes to perceive, like free yourself from trying to perceive what other people are doing and reacting to it and trying to like defend yourself and make sure people perceive you right. That is going to kill you. Don't do that. Don't try to make people perceive you how you want to be perceived. Let them do what they're perceiving. They're going to sort themselves. Access, denied access. You're going to stay in your lane in terms of creation. But when it comes to like, you can't even see this coming. It's unexpected. That Eight of Swords, you're trapped in some kind of thinking about this, especially it might even be like trapped in thinking about another person and feeling like that other person, you feel all this energy, this limerence energy. Like that's with spiritual stuff. That's not with the person. The person has to be physically there in the same space with you to agree with something like that. Otherwise, you're playing with an archetype that wants you to become it, not play with it and try to like acquire and hold it. And to the extent that there is something meant for you here, there is, but it seems to live in the unconscious realm first, which means that you have to grapple with what your limerent like relationship is before you think about what the actual relationship is going to, that actual relationship is going to materialize. So there's a disillusionment kind of thing going on here, that you're meant to have this like in order to build the real thing and to find your way with the real thing, you have to stop webbing yourself into these dramas that again put the power with someone else either accepting you or rejecting you in order to get that relationship. Because the unconscious resourcefulness level, and it's something unexpected, it's not what you think. What's meant for you in this spread right here that we're looking at is something other than what you think it should be, which means that whatever you have in theory of mind right now, it's like you're not meant to be attached to that. Removing attachments is removing habits, especially habits of whatever is not like, there's something there. I gotta talk a little bit. Any patterns, any habits of entrapment, either of yourself or others, you know, into stories that you want to somehow manifest. What it means for you to manifest, again, is it's like tapping at, like there's something with the web, but like tapping into this resourcefulness related to the unknown and what's available to you in terms of being like guided by your own desire, not to acquire something necessarily, but to like be in desire, participate with desire, learn from what it is that desire is trying to tell you about who you want to be, and then become that. And in becoming that, this is where all the action goes down. Don't let pride get in your way by like trying to then dictate how these circumstances will happen or something like that. I don't know. It's going to happen really quickly, but it's a lot of communication between now and whenever this is like actualized. Like that Eight of Wands, that means there's a lot of interference over what it is for you to be able to accept this, but there's patience. And relax, don't worry. There's a victory here. You know, there's such a victory here in love. And there's this person's right. And it's so weird that I can't get it's somebody who's foreign. Whether they're like alien different, interdimensionally different between the realms. They're unexpected. So different as to be like completely unexpected, and it might even be something related to identity, which is kind of interesting. But the alchemy of you plays a really, really big role in what it is to make this connection and have this connection. And there's a lot of happiness here. You're meant to be at peace about it. The thing that you're doing here in terms of like, this is the beginning of this is the beginning of the beginning and the beginning of the end of the whatever. We're ending something, we're going into something different. We're a new chapter, a new section. And you do have to sort of be very mature for this to work. So with the bottom of the deck, we have pay your bills, make a budget, have a discipline, make some goals and follow through with it. Having a life plan doesn't make you boring, it makes you a savage. Ain't nothing easy about realizing that you're the one who's been holding yourself back. Your lack of planning and discipline is the answer to all those why not me questions you've been asking. You've got to do this for you. This is your life and you're the only one that can make it happen. You can't rise any higher than the standards you set and keep for yourself. That's your job right now. So that is the alchemy of you. You're going to do the alchemy of creating the life that is meant for you, that you want. Choose joy as your compass is peeking out here. Be at peace about what it is to allow this to materialize for you, to become material for you, because it doesn't live in the material. Like initially there's a resourcefulness about kind of working with that, this energy that has like an unconscious influence, moving outside of the web of drama. What's the web of drama? Like this is when you're getting, like I see the spider like spitting a web and they're gonna make something with it. And here's all of the things. Like what this is saying is don't involve somebody else right now. The Hermit there in the first part is like, yes, there is someone here with the Two of Cups. It's after this new beginning. This new beginning is that unexpected. You didn't see it coming. Whatever you really have been fixating on, like making happen or believe is happening. With the Three of Swords, that's not it. But what is happening with Desire and the Queen of Wands is very quickly you're going to understand that's not it. It's going to, someone will make it known. They'll pull away. They'll see that there's like some aspect that they're not comfortable with because they don't see it in their life that way. And they sort themselves. And that doesn't mean they sort themselves out, but you're going to be working with what it means to step into an expectation and a hope that this Two of Cups situation is absolutely there. It's just the starborn. It's something that is unexpected. It's between realms right now. It hasn't materialized. There's an unconscious influence coming in, and there's a resourcefulness in what it means for you to discover yourself here. And this process of discovery, you can relax and you can have patience with this process of discovery. It's going to help you figure out who you are as you do this grow up stuff. As you plan and discipline, which nobody likes to hear that, but that's true. Plan and discipline is the opposite of the web of drama. And it's what you have to walk out of this Eight of Swords position in order to be like, this is all connected. And so, yes, it's happening quickly. Rapid, Eight of Wands, rapid back and forth, lots of things, lots of communication, but relax and have patience because this is where all the happiness is. The web of drama is when you are like again, like the spider, like spitting and then trying to like make it a web. That's all you. That's just you. If somebody else is working like in relationship to you and what you're building, then you have more than one web and it reflects the light, and then the light reflects to their web and your web, and you guys share a light show. But you're not going to have anybody else in your web unless you want them trapped there. And if you want them trapped there, you got to work on not doing that, because somebody else might sense that you want them trapped there and be like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So there's some kind of thing with the don't let your pride get you in. Like the way you don't let pride get in your way with everyone is the same way that you don't let pride get in your way with one single person. And so it's like, it's all comes down to theory of mind and what it means to interact with theory of mind in terms of theorizing what people think and say with their opinions in the comment section. Don't do that. You're going to cut that off. That doesn't exist. That's fiction. You don't live there. But also theorizing what other people are or are not doing in relationship to you that has walls up to the sky. And some of those walls are like fantasies about somebody who's not available. That happens. That's real. That happens all the time. Some of those walls are being really defensive about what someone's like, what are they doing? What do they want from you? You know, like it's two sides of the same coin where you're thinking about what other people are doing and and instead of flowing with what you're doing. And so there is that, you know, there's this, you have to, the grow up discipline and planning is about making a castle of your life and your dreams and making the most perfect feel. Like, you know, the moon here again is about dreaming something up, nurturing, comfort, magic, allowing. We got flow, we have a flow, and we've got allow, dreaming. You're going to make your happiest life here, and it's going to transform everything about you, and it has nothing to do with other people. Your reputation is something. We see the 10th house. We're going to see a 10th house situation for you where there is some level of achievement and competence and fame and notoriety. There's lots of stuff coming in very quickly, but your partnership with this resourcefulness, this unconscious, this Pisces, this moon, the 8th house, there's something very unique about the romance that is for you, that is so different that we can't even really get a fix on it. What it isn't is what you expect. And so sometimes what we're expecting, you know, there's victory here for you, but we can feel like that's a failure with the moon card in reverse. We can feel like that's a failure when our expectations are dashed based on like somebody else's like access or lack of access. And so your romantic eligibility, right, and your opportunity for romance here, for some reason it's not feeling like it involves somebody else. It feels like it's a love kind of born out of this resourcefulness related to this between realms, stardust and starborn situation. There's a lot to be created of that. And there's a lot for you to understand there. And in terms of where it materializes as something with skin on with the 2 of Cups, it seems to. But it's not with the, but it has to, it bypasses the web of drama with don't let pride get in your way. That's like, there's something here about that discipline and that grow up and that sun splendor and that's Earth's heart, a grounded love. And it's not choked out by expectations and demands. It's something new. It's a new kind of bloom. That snake is striking me as some kind of, you know, the way that the snake is on that flower, it's not weighing it down and it's not crushing it. And that's super important. And so, with the relaxation, relax, have patience. This is a process. You're going to be in a process. There's some resourcefulness around, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what is going to be this. What is this energy? What is the opportunity for love? There's a lot of information and not all of it makes sense, but there's something building here that's related to your victory. And the same glow up and grow up are coming together. Like I'm seeing grow up for you is glow up for you. So you're expecting a glow up, you're going to have a major glow up. But glow up and grow up are the exact same thing for you. So what is it going to take for you to grow up? Paying everybody's bills right now. People are paying, you know, pay your bills. Yes, pay your bills. Make a budget. Have some discipline. That's not easy during a apocalypse. I understand. But you're exempt. I see you as being with this take action. You know, 10th house, reputation, the transformation of what it is for you to experience yourself in the world. That is major. So, but I think that it all relates to this discipline. So like when you put in these new rituals of self-care to replace the old habits, what are the old habits? Attachments. That's this work with grow up, and that creates a glow up. And so like operating from that point of sun splendor, grounded in the heart of the earth, knowing who you are, nobody can tell you who you are. That's this period of time. And that web of drama is something that you are not going to step into by trying to negotiate with people about how they feel about you, how they, you know, and so that you can just be in the act of experiencing. And in that act of experiencing, you are available or unavailable based on whatever it is that feels comfortable for you. And that's normal and that's good. And there's something here about this just being very different, very different. You and your loved ones are safe. You are so safe. Be at peace. Communication is really the key though. And the answers that you need are coming. Now you'll notice that these 2 cards are identical. These are Gemini energies. These are twins. So there's something there. I'm not a twin flame person. I don't like that stuff, but that's mostly because I don't like the way that people interpret it, and that doesn't mean that it's wrong. It just means that I have like a personal bias. But the energy is gaining momentum here, says that you are in line to connect with your twin flame, and your twin flame might be pretty interdimensional. And I hate the word twin flame, so I'm just gonna accept that the guys are telling me that this is the way that it must say it. You know what I mean? Everything can be distorted into some toxic game people play with, but you have something in the way of a interdimensional influence that will manifest itself in physical form. If you think that you know what it is, it's unexpected. That's a very important part of this message, is because I saw that. If you think you have a fix and you're like, oh yes, this is gonna happen, this is what it looks like, I'm telling you, it's unexpected. It's not what you think it is not what you think. Like, it is not what you think. That is also great, relax, inner peace. You don't need to know. That's just that the conflict of needing to know and not being patient and not relaxing. The conflict of being anywhere but the alchemy of you, because the alchemy of you with this twin means that when you get your alchemy right with that grow up, glow up, you are then just right in like 2 of cups. There's that twin right there. You and this other person are safe. This relationship is safe. This union is safe. It is a divine union. We are talking about divine union here for you. But unconscious, starborn, and stardust, 2 different decks. 8th house, everything about what is being characterized here is a different, there's a different. 6 of Wands, it's a victory though. So let's just get let's just get an activation card, and then we're going to call it, because I don't think we're going to get particulars. There's something so powerful about the uncertainty and the unconscious. 8th house, unconscious / underworld. We've got a collective unconscious, that's the underworld. We've got the unconscious connected to that collective unconscious, that's going to be your personal underworld. So like that 8th house unconscious, what is the underworld that you are creating with right now? And what does that mean in terms of being something that is actually healing as like an interdimensional influence that you have been resourceful in connecting with, stepping out of the web of drama? You know, that's going to be all the stuff about like ownership. You know, there's no possession here. That's not what this is. This is something else. What possesses you? Your habits. Your habits. What are the attachments that are possessing you? They're habits. That's what that is. What's not possessing you? Ideas. Never is an idea possessing you. Habits do. And is that something that you have to like go get an exorcism? Not really. You just do it by change. You know, there's an easy way to do it, or there's a very like difficult, you know, way to do it. But perception here is like the key. And so with belief and perception, step into this new belief, this new perception, like begin to play with this. There's victory. It's unexpected, but you have to like the grow up is going to be confidence is key. How are you going to get your confidence? You're going to get your confidence from your glow up. How are you going to get your glow up? You're going to grow up. That's where it's going to come from. You're going to step into that powerful independence that comes with taking charge. We had taking charge in the last reading. And you're going to have this perception belief shift around not accepting stories of powerlessness. And you're going to actively, resourcefully dream into possibilities of romantic situations and a romantic love that might have some aspect of limerence attached to it. But that aspect of limerence that is in relationship to this romantic cycle and this romance that's beginning has to do with the fact that there's some sort of unconscious something in terms of getting very clear on the alchemy of who you are, so that you can be in relationship with some mirror sort of twinning kind of energy with the new moon and the full moon in Gemini, also twin, like bookend kind of energies. And you and your loved ones as safe means like the only thing that you can do with pride in your way to get in the way of this for yourself is make some kind of like deterministic, it's that person, it's that situation. It's not the unexpected thing. It's the thing I've been ruminating about and limmering about for the last couple of years. Like, that's not it. I'm telling you, that's not it. I'm promising you that's not it. I'm sorry if that is what you've been trying to hope for or crane towards with this. But this is so much better. It's so much better. Victory here with the Six of Wands. It's so much better. It's what you really, truly want. It's like this twin Gemini, but like Two of Cups, like in a positive way. But perception and belief, like you and your loved ones are safe. You can't talk yourself out of this. What's meant for you is meant for you. It starts off magic and then it becomes material. It does have some quality of the unconscious and related to that underworld sort of thing. I can't figure it out exactly, but it starts there. And so like Limerence plays a role. So there's like a grounding that happens with your grow up and your glow up, brings in this other energy, and then we have action. And what you have to do in order to sustain what it is to be perceived both intimately at the level of a partner and broadly at the level of like it's 10th house notoriety, is to stay in your own lane and to stop thinking about what other people are thinking or caring about what other people are thinking or doing. Like just you, just what you're creating, not the web of drama of what's connected to who's connected to what's connected to what. And so with that, victory is yours. And I hope that was helpful. The alchemy of you is the ticket to the kind of love that is a new beginning for you, where you get to rewrite like your heart almost and your love story. And it is with some starborn, something very 8th house cool for you. And it's, you got to walk out of the trap and the drama of the web of drama with control and having and somebody, and move into this belief there's something I can't see it, it's of another dimension, it's of another realm, but it's going to make itself known to me as I make myself known to myself with the grow up, glow up. And that's a victory all around. All the interference, get rid of it. You're not gonna do that anymore. Hard pass. And so with that, there's something very new, and I can't see anything else, so we're going to leave it there and sending you the best week and the energy of the best week. Thank you for being here.